John, good evening from the Time Warner Cable Arena in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Democratic National Convention has been underway for over an hour. They're getting pretty raucous down there on the floor. We went and visited the Rhode Island delegation and several others right down on the floor. A lot of people chanting, fired up and ready to go. The big Barack Obama chant from 4 years ago that helped get him a lot of momentum and into the White House. Police followed Senator Ruggiero's car for a time down County Road in Barrington and then finally got him to stop here at Richmond Avenue. In fact, the senator pulled his car and stopped right in the middle of the road. He didn't even pull over to the side. And that's where this case gets even weirder. Another state senator showed up at the scene. Believe it or not, we found some agreement between Democrats and Republicans. Number one, the national campaign is now in full swing. Number two, the economy is the main issue. According to the settlement of the lawsuit, Rhode Island Resource Recovery will receive $5 million back of the original $12 million it spent with Recovermat. Well, something is better than nothing, but a lot of people are wondering why no one is being held personally responsible for such a shady deal in the first place.
ABC 6 reporter Mark Curtis is live at Mitt Romney's headquarters in Boston.
John and Karen, good evening from the Westin Hotel in Boston at Copley Place. I'll tell you what, they're getting the final preparations in place here. Mitt Romney is likely to address this crowd in about 3 hours or so with a victory speech. Let me give you some behind-the-scenes campaign dirt, though. I've been for weeks trying to find out where the Romney campaign was going to hold its rally tonight, and they wouldn't tell me, and they said they weren't sure, and I was puzzled by that. Finally, I found someone behind the scenes who said they were hedging their bets, hoping to hold it in Ohio, maybe Cleveland or Cincinnati or Columbus if he won there. But then the inside polling showed that Mr. Romney may not win in Ohio, and he certainly doesn't want to be there giving a concession speech when he could be here giving an acceptance speech, a victory speech, and that's why he is back here tonight in Massachusetts. It is Super Tuesday in Massachusetts, but the behind-the-scenes work has been underway for weeks. The signatures have been collected, the voters registered, and the yard signs printed, carried out, distributed, and planted. Former Governor Mitt Romney is the heavy favorite.
Definitely, we feel that he's ours. He's our candidate. He's ours. We everybody loves him. Again, I don't think there's going to be any issue at all. We're all kind of playing the game now. What percentage is he going to win by?
And in case you've never seen one before, there is one of those infamous robocall machines too.
And the phone lines are hooked into it. I have 3 separate lines. Whoops! Every beep means it's made a call.
While it's considered something of a slam dunk for Mitt Romney to win in the Bay State on Super Tuesday, it is always important to show strength in your base. The real test for the former Massachusetts governor, though, will be how well he does in the other states. Newt Gingrich is likely to win his home state of Georgia. Rick Santorum is pulling ahead in Oklahoma and Tennessee and is slightly ahead in the polls in Ohio, although Mitt Romney has been gaining there in the Buckeye State.
It's got a lot of delegates, but that isn't the key. The key is that no Republican has ever become president without winning the Ohio primary, and that is significant.
In all, the Republicans are fighting it out in 10 states on Super Tuesday. Now, we should point out that Massachusetts is not the only New England state holding a primary today. Vermont voters are casting their ballots as well, and we should mention, too, that Rhode Island and Connecticut, our primaries will be coming up on April 24th. We probably still won't have a nominee by then. Romney is hoping to win at least 3 states tonight, perhaps as many as 6 or 7. We'll know by 9 o'clock whether he is the clear front runner in this Republican presidential race or whether this battle is just going to continue seesawing back and forth. We'll be back live at 11 o'clock with election results. For now, Mark Curtis reporting live in Boston at the Romney campaign headquarters for ABC 6 News.
All right, Mark, thank you. The Rhode Island.
Live from Providence, this is ABC 6 News at noon in high definition.
And let's take you out this noontime just west of our downtown Providence studios. Here's the sky cam shot this noontime. You can see the clouds breaking up. It is going to be another gorgeous day here this Friday afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Curtis. Dorian Scanlon is off today. Let's get our first weather. Let's check in with Storm Tracker meteorologist Steve Cascione.
That forecast coming up in a few minutes. Mark?
All right, Steve, we'll see you then. Topping our news this noontime, Rhode Island's already high unemployment rate is back up again. It is the first increase in 8 months, and the number of people with jobs has now gone down to its lowest number in 15 years. According to the State Department of Labor and Training, the latest jobless rate out today This is for the month of February. It stands at 11%. That's up 0.1% from January and well above the national unemployment rate of 8.3%. The number of people with jobs dropped by 1,500 from January. To avoid future service cuts, today marks the start of a series of hearings on public transit in Rhode Island. Lawmakers are looking for ways to stabilize RIPTA's finances. They'll be hearing from agency staff and state fiscal analysts. RIPTA has had to get rid of jobs and trim service on some routes because of budget deficits. The health care mandates on contraception have people taking to the streets all across the country today, including here in Providence. Local protesters are gathering right now at Kennedy Plaza. They're opposing President Obama's health care mandate that would make religious employers offer contraception through their health care plans, despite their beliefs against the practice. A prison guard at the Wyatt Detention Center in Central Falls is being held without bail. 37-year-old Kevin Allard is accused of repeatedly sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl in Pawtucket. Allard was arrested Wednesday after police set up a bogus meeting to catch him. His wife claims the accusations are false.
I really hope that she's doing it for the right reasons. Like I said, I have a 13-year-old, I have a 16-year-old, and I would hope that if they were ever going to do this to someone, to break up someone's family and cause this much turmoil and pain for people, that there was a good reason for it.
If convicted, Allard could spend the rest of his life in prison. Well, it was a bad choice for a suspect in Johnston. He held up a bank right down the street from the police department. 26-year-old Tyrone Townsend walked into the TD Bank branch on Atwood Avenue yesterday and told a teller he had a gun. After Townsend took off on foot with a bunch of cash, a patrolman quickly spotted him and chased him down.
Fortunate for him, he wasn't aware of his surroundings. He's not from the area. Supposedly he's from the Boston area and previously before that in New York. So he wasn't familiar that a police department was right next door. So I think he just made a bad call picking the wrong bank.
Townsend was arrested. He was also wanted for a bank robbery in Connecticut. A postal worker from Cranston is facing jail time after pleading guilty to stealing money from greeting cards. 49-year-old Robert Hart was accused of rifling through nearly 100 cards in October. Agents grew suspicious of him and planted 2 cards with money. And then they watched him open those cards and take the cash. He faces 5 years in prison. Still to come this noontime, a student convicted in a hate crime where his roommate died speaks out exclusively to ABC News. Plus, we are now hearing reaction from Whitney Houston's family after the cause of death was revealed. And they're creepy and they're spooky, and they are in Providence this weekend. We'll hear from the Adams family. We are hearing for the first time from the former Rutgers University student convicted in a bullying case that made nationwide headlines. Darun Ravi was found guilty of a hate crime for spying on his gay roommate who later took his own life. Here's ABC's TJ Winnick.
Authorities called TJ Winnick, ABC News, New York.
And you can watch the entire ABC exclusive interview tonight at 10 o'clock on 2020 right here on ABC 6. The tragic death of Whitney Houston has been officially declared an accidental drowning. The Los Angeles County coroner issued the report saying cocaine was also in her system. Coupled with heart disease and other medications, they were all contributing factors in her death. Houston was found submerged in her hotel bathtub and unresponsive back in February. Her sister says the news about the autopsy results is tragic for the family, but at least now they have some closure. Still to come this noontime, we'll explain why male firefighters were battling flames while decked out in gowns and high heels. And it may be do or die time unless the state helps bail out various cities and towns in Rhode Island. The world, according to Buddy, is next. Governor Chafee has a plan to help the state's financially troubled communities. This could be a last chance, though, before many communities have to declare bankruptcy. Here is today's The World According to Buddy.
This week, the governor of Rhode Island.
I'm going to get that barbecue grill going before things turn cooler again.
Absolutely.
All right, Steve, thanks. Still to come on ABC 6 News at noon, find out why the Adams family invaded our downtown Providence studios. And no, you're not seeing things. We'll explain why firefighting became a real drag during one emergency. Stay with us. Well, there's a new family moving into P-PAC this weekend. The Weird and Wonderful group is in Providence. The Addams Family, that is part of a new musical based on the spooky characters.
You're an Addams. You little have a little good night.
Even though they've been busy singing up a storm, the cast paid us a visit here in our downtown Providence studios at ABC6. Gomez and Morticia Addams sat down with Steve Cascione. Take a look at what they had to say.
Well, it's spring. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Sounds like fun. All right, when we come back, the final check of the weather is next. Stay with us. Well, here's something you don't see every day. A pair of firefighters in ball gowns putting out a fire. Not an easy thing to do in a strapless dress, pantyhose, and high heels. This video is a huge hit online, and you can see why. The men were wearing the dresses in a St. Patrick's Day parade, dressed up to promote a fundraiser for a beauty pageant. Well, a pickup truck nearby caught fire, and these guys were called into action. They had no choice but to grab the hoses and put out the fire in their gowns. They did so in a matter of minutes. Boy, that's funny. Glad you and I aren't firefighters, okay? Anyway, how's the weekend forecast looking?
All right, Mark. Right now the sun is out, so the rest of the afternoon, 46 for a high after a morning low of about 26 degrees.
Happy Friday. Go out and have some fun.
No
Enjoy
kidding.
the day. Thanks for watching ABC 6 News at noon. ABC 6 News continues later today at 5. And for news anytime, abc6.com is always on. Have a great weekend.
Closed caption.